guys, so we're going to talk about multiplying decimals today. Our trick is count them up because we're always going to count up the number of decimal spaces that we are multiplying, and then we're actually just going to line up our numbers like we usually would. So if I have 34 and 3/10 times 5, and I'm going to take this decimal out, I'm going to write it off to the side. And then go ahead and set it up like normal and pretend that decimal doesn't exist until the very end. So we know that 5 times 3 is 15. So here's our 5. We'll carry our 1 over. 5 times 4 is 20 plus that 1. So 21. 5 times 3 is 15. We'll add that 2, 17. Well, we can't stop here because we still had that decimal we took out. So what we do with that decimal is we put it back in one space. So our answer is 171 5/10. This is the same if you have 2 decimal places. We would remember that we took our decimal out 2 spaces, write it off to the side, and then just multiply normal by 6. 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 4 is 24, 6 times 2 is 12, which gives us 14, and can't forget about that 2, so we hop our decimal place in back 2 points. So 2 and 40 hundredths times 6 is 14 and 40 hundredths. Now this really makes sense because if we think about what we know about 2 times 6, it's 12, and we've got a little bit more than 2 wholes, so we've got a little bit more than 12 as our answer. All right. Now it's the same thing if we're multiplying 2 decimal numbers. So I have 1 6/10 times 5/10. Let's think about this. This is kind of close to 2. This is a half. We're going to go ahead and set it up. We have 2 decimal points, 1 here, 1 here. So we have 2 spaces past the decimal that we have to remember. 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. And then we have to go back in and replace our decimal 2 spaces in because we took our decimal 2 spaces out of both numbers. And that's why we call it count them up, because we count all of the decimals in both numbers that we're multiplying by, no matter what. Hopefully we'll get into some word problem practice and we can start doing some